Hi everyone, it's day 19 of our 30-day restorative yoga challenge. So we're almost 2/3 of the way through. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the challenge and learning all kinds of wonderful, helpful things about yourself and taking this opportunity to nurture and find some soft and quiet time for yourself. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how to set up and prepare for pose number 3. So pose number 3 is the one that we'll be doing for the final third of the challenge, so from day 21 to day 30. And so here are the instructions for that. Okay, so let's go over what we're going to need to do to set up for pose number 3. So pose number 3 is the pose that we'll be doing for the final third of the 30-day restorative challenge, so from day 21 to day 30. And this pose is called Viparit Karani. It's a wonderful pose, also known as legs up the wall. Some of you may already be familiar with it and love it. It's one of my favorites. And so what you'll need for this pose primarily is some wall space. So you need to have a clear wall in your house where there's no radiator or heating system because you're going to be bringing your body right up against the wall. Ideally, you want to have some carpeting beneath you or some nice warm padding underneath you. And you want to make sure that it's not a slippery surface because you're going to need to sort of maneuver yourself into the wall, and if it's too slippery you might have more of a difficult time getting into the pose. And so it's not the most elegant pose to get into. We often laugh at how silly we look getting into the pose, but then once we're in it, we're usually really happy to be there. So what you're going to need is the wall, and you're going to need your bolster. The bolster is optional, and you'll find that once you try it, if it's too difficult for you to get into the pose with the bolster, you always have the choice of not using it. And then a blanket is also optional, and you can create a little tent with your legs to help keep you warm. And then you're going to need your belt, which will go around your calves, and also an eye pillow, which is optional, or anything that you'd like to choose to cover your eyes with. So let's get ourselves set up. Okay, so what you want to do is place your bolster on the floor in front of the wall, and the distance away from the wall will depend on comfort in your back and in your legs. So you may need to try it a few different ways until you find a way that feels like it's the right distance for you so that you can relax your legs. So I usually have it, here I've got it probably about 2 inches away from the wall. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll sit right at the end of the bolster. So you want to make sure you're not sitting in the middle of it, because if you sit in the middle of it, you'll probably end up on the floor. So you're sitting more on the edge of it, and you've got, one of your sides is touching the wall so that you're pretty much centered on the bolster. Okay, from there you're going to lower yourself down, so you need to engage your core, your lower belly muscles a little bit, lowering down onto your elbows. And then from there, you're going to lower yourself all the way down, keeping your head up, your core engaged. You're going to grab hold of the end of your bolster, press your hand into the wall, and swivel yourself around. And then from there, you want to take your belt, and you do have the option of placing your belt around your legs first if that's easier for you to do, or you can just bend your knees and you're going to attach the belt around mid-shin area. And then from there, the setup where you want to be centered is you want to have your pelvis centered on the bolster, so your sacrum is centered on the bolster, and your lower back is really just spilling off the edge of the bolster. Right? So if you're not sure, you just sort of wiggle around and see that you can feel that your lower back is fully supported by the bolster, and then your pelvis feels also as well like you're fully supported. Okay, and then from there, if you want to and you want to stay warm, you can take your blanket, open it up, and this is really kind of cool. If you have any pets, look out, because they'll probably want to come in and snuggle in with you. You're going to take it around your feet and place it behind your feet and up, and you can even tuck it behind your legs.
I have a little bit here. And then if you wanted to, you obviously can use your eye pillow. So here you want to just make sure that your shoulder blades are nicely tucked under, and then you're going to reach up through the heels, get some nice length through the back of the legs, and then release. Arms come out to the side, a comfortable distance away from the body. If you want, you can explore this sort of a cactus arm position. It's also called goalpost arms. But you want to make sure that you can fully relax through the shoulders and arms and there's no tension. So if the arms aren't fully touching the floor, then it might be, you won't be able to relax fully. So at which point you're probably better off having your arms here. Or you even have the option of having your arms up and over your head. And again here, this will entirely depend on what's happening in your shoulders. There isn't one way that's better than another. There is a way that's better for your body. And so that's what you want to explore. You can try it with the different arm positions. And then of course you take your full breath in. Allow yourself to settle in and see how it feels. Right? So you can always, if you need to, come out of the pose and try to bring your body a little bit further away, the bolster a little further away. Or if you want, you can try and come in a little closer. Right now, I'm probably about 2 inches. The backs of my thighs and my buttocks are probably about 2 inches away from the wall, which feels like the right distance for me. Okay, so you want to be able to relax your knees and relax your legs into the belt. And then the way to come out of the pose is you can slowly begin to bend your knees, bring your feet to the wall, and then you can lift yourself up just a tiny bit, just enough to push the bolster in toward the wall, and slide yourself down so now your entire body is back down on the floor. If you have a rectangular bolster like mine, you can sort of angle it up into the wall. And then from there, take a breath or two and just feel what it feels like to have come out, back into a neutral position. And then from there, you'll roll over to your side, whatever side you have access to. And then rest your head on your upper arm. Take a couple of breaths there. And then from there, you would push up and come out of the pose.
So there you have it. There's your setup for pose number 3, Juicy Viparit Karani. Just love this pose. And so play around with it and see and find a setup that works for you. I know that in the beginning, when you're first doing this pose, if you're brand new to this pose and you haven't done it before, it may feel a little bit frustrating because you always end up on the floor, but just keep trying. And if you've tried a few times setting up with the bolster and it's just not working, then ditch the bolster and try the pose without the bolster. There's a lot of wonderful benefits to the pose by doing them either way. So this pose is really wonderful for giving your legs and heart a wonderful break. Really good for the digestive system, for calming your nervous system, and all of these providing, of course, that you feel comfortable and you're able to relax in the pose. So remember, that's really the only rule in restorative. You don't want to feel like you're getting more and more tense in the pose. You want to feel like your body's beginning to release and settle in. And so I look forward to doing the guided practice with you for Viparit Karani. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in a couple of days. Namaste.